Somewhere in America right now, it's still dark out, and someone is already awake. She's standing at a bus stop on the edge of a highway, holding a cup of gas station coffee, waiting for the first bus of the day. She hasn't really slept. She finished one shift a few hours ago, and now she's heading to the next one. To anyone driving past, she's just a blur on the side of the road. But she is one of millions, and her morning is the part of the American story almost nobody puts in the brochure. For a long time, this country sold one simple promise: work hard and you'll be okay. Show up, put in the hours, play by the rules, and you'll earn a life, a home, a little stability, a future for your kids. That was the deal, and millions of people still believe in it, still get up before sunrise chasing it. The strange and quiet tragedy of this moment is that a lot of them are working harder than ever, and the deal isn't holding up its end. So let me show you what that life actually looks like. Not the version on the news, the real one. Start with the work itself. The job she's heading to this morning is the kind of job that's supposed to be a starting point. A first rung, fast food, retail, a warehouse, a call center, cleaning offices after everyone else goes home. The kind of work the country runs on without ever really seeing. And for a huge number of Americans, this isn't the first rung of anything anymore. It's the whole ladder. Because here's the thing that's changed. One of these jobs used to be enough to get by, if barely. Now it isn't. So she doesn't have one job, she has two, sometimes three. She'll work the breakfast rush at one place, take a bus across town, and clock into another by early afternoon. Maybe a third in the evening. 70 hours a week is not unusual. 7 days a week is not unusual. The idea of a weekend, 2 days that belong to you, has quietly become a luxury she can't afford. And she'll tell you, if you ask, that 2 jobs is nothing, that she could do a third if she wanted to. These are the hands that keep the whole machine running, and they are the ones who somehow never quite get to feel recovered. Now look at the math she's living inside. She works full weeks, more than full, and at the end of the month, after all those hours, the money still doesn't reach. There's a number you'd have to earn just to climb out of poverty in most American cities, to cover rent, food, gas, the basics without help. For most low-wage workers, the paycheck lands well below that line, not a little below. Below enough that no amount of extra shifts seems to close the gap. So she does the thing people do when the numbers don't work. She cuts. The dentist can wait another year. She buys the cheapest version of everything. She skips the appointment she knows she needs. She decides, standing in the aisle between the thing the kids need and the thing the car needs, because she can't do both this week. And the raises, when they come slow. 10 cents here, a quarter there, after 6 or 8 months of asking. Just enough to feel like something is moving, never enough to actually change anything. She works, and at the end of it, she looks at what's left and realizes she's running as fast as she can just to stay in exactly the same place. Then there's where she sleeps. You'd think, working this much, she'd at least have a place of her own. A lot of them don't, because to rent an apartment you need first month, last month, a deposit, a lump of money up front that someone living shift to shift can almost never gather all at once. So instead, she pays week to week for a room in a motel off the highway. Drive past those motels and you'd never guess. But behind a lot of those doors are families, not travelers. Families. Parents and kids in a single room, 15 square meters, a bed and a smaller bed, a microwave, a bathroom shared with the noise of the road outside. She pays more for that one room, by the month, than a real apartment would cost. Sometimes 3/4 of everything she earns, gone, just for a place that isn't even hers. It's the cruelest math of all. She's too poor to afford the thing that would make her less poor. And the kids are there for all of it. They do their homework on the bed, they line their shoes up by the door. But here's what you have to understand. This isn't a story about people who failed. That's the part the official version gets wrong. We're told this is a success story. The economy recovered. Jobs were created, millions of them. The numbers go up, the companies post record profits, and the message from every direction is that things are good, things are working, the dream is back on track. And it's true that the jobs came back. What nobody likes to say out loud is what kind of jobs they were. A huge share of them are exactly the kind we've been describing. Part-time, unstable, underpaid, deliberately kept just under the hours where a company would have to offer health insurance. That's not an accident, it's a design. Break the full-time job into 2 part-time jobs, and suddenly you owe nobody benefits, nobody stability, nobody a future. The work gets done either way. The cost just shifts onto the worker, quietly, where the statistics don't look. So the recovery was real, it just mostly belonged to someone else. The profits went up, the wages didn't, and the middle class, the thing this whole country was supposed to be built around, kept thinning out, person by person, family by family, until a huge number of people who thought they were solidly in the middle woke up one day, somewhere closer to the edge. And it's not only the people at the bottom, it's the ones who thought they'd made it. Think about the worker who did everything right, got the steady job at the big company, the kind your aunt told you to get. The kind that was supposed to last a lifetime. 13 years, 20 years. A union card, a decent wage, a real shot at a middle-class life. The kind of job a whole town could be built around. And then, one ordinary morning, they hand him a piece of paper, a few sentences. Your position is being eliminated. And they walk him out, past every co-worker, down the long aisle, everyone watching, everyone knowing their turn is coming too. After all those years, that's how it ends. Not because he did anything wrong. Because somewhere, someone decided the wages in his town were too high, and the same work could be done cheaper 1,000 miles away, in a place with no union, by someone who will be paid half as much. And that person too will be told they're lucky to have the job. The company posts a record profit the same week, sometimes the same day. They hand billions back to their shareholders and lay off the people who made the product with their hands. And the factory town that built the trains, the engines, the steel, the places that literally powered this country into a superpower, gets left to slowly fall apart. Empty buildings, broken windows, a main street that remembers being something. This is the quiet machinery underneath the good economic news. Not a crash, not a single dramatic collapse you could point to. Just a slow, steady transfer of security, of dignity, of the middle of the country, moving in one direction, away from the people who work and toward the people who own. And when people fall, there's less and less to catch them. The things that used to protect a working life have been worn down, one by one. The union that once gave a worker some leverage now covers only a fraction of the people it used to, because everyone learned to be afraid. Afraid that if they organized, the company would simply close the doors and move. So people agree to things they'd never otherwise agree to. They take the cut, they take the broken schedule, they say thank you for the job. And for the families who slip all the way through, there's the bottom. The cities where the rent climbs so high that working full-time still isn't enough to live indoors. Tent camps in the parking lots of churches. Families sleeping in cars. Parents with full-time jobs and nowhere to bring their children home to. In some of the wealthiest cities in the world, there are more homeless children now than there have been in living memory. Kids being moved from school to school, from motel to shelter to tent and back again. Growing up on the move. These are not people who refuse to work. That's the thing that should stop you. Almost all of them are working. They're the ones doing the jobs we all rely on. They followed the instructions exactly. Work hard, stay humble, keep going. and the instructions led them here. So you have to ask the question the country doesn't like to ask. If this is what's waiting at the end of all that work, the second job, the third job, the motel room, the piggy bank, the walk down the aisle with a paper in your hand, then what exactly is the dream anymore, and who is it actually for? Because somebody is doing extraordinarily well in this story. The profits are real, the record highs are real, the wealth at the very top has never been larger. The economy genuinely is booming for the people who own it. It's just that the booming and the suffering are happening at the same time, in the same country, and we've gotten very good at only photographing one of them. The worker at the bus stop knows all of this. She doesn't need the statistics. She lives inside the answer every single day. And if you ask her whether she still believes in the dream, she'll probably pause. She might say yes, out of habit, out of love for a country she was raised to be proud of. And then she'll get quiet because she's having a harder time than she used to finding the reason. But she'll get on the bus anyway. She'll close her eyes for the 20 minutes it takes to cross town, because it's the only rest she'll get. And she'll clock into the next shift and the one after that, and she'll keep going. Not because the system is fair, but because her kids are counting on her. And stopping was never one of the options. That's the part that stays with you, not the cruelty of it, the endurance. The sheer, stubborn endurance of people who keep holding up their end of a bargain the country quietly stopped honoring a long time ago. That's the price of the American dream. And right now, the people paying it are the ones who can least afford the bill.